Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, and we're going to turn to, as my caption says, the review of this past weekend's fights. But I got a song to play for Manny Pacquiao. Y'all bear with me for a second. That's for you, Manny. I think Manny Pacquiao should retire. I think Father Time has won. I think on that card. And you cannot win against that opponent. Nobody can. But that was a damn good card, and I was pleasantly surprised to see the fights that appeared. I didn't know anything about a Castro as Condone Maxoya, Mag. I'm gonna call him Mag, Maxell, because he said he wanted to fight um, Gary Russell Jr. and that's what put my radar on him. And so I was like, well, let me see this fight. Now I know all week I said I wasn't gonna buy the fight, and I wasn't. But some I was going somewhere to look at the fight over a friend's house, but people were sick, so I opted to stay home, and I caved. I couldn't help it because I knew it was gonna be some good boxing. But anywho, I'm gonna start off with the lower fights and work my way up to the piece de la resistance. But all in all, that whole fight card was pretty damn good. And it's a lot of times that we buy these fights and the undercards suck. And sometimes you just buy it for one person. And for real, I only wanted to buy it because of Earl. And once Earl dropped out, I didn't want it. But because I got myself all excited about going to a friend's house and then they caved in the last hour, I said, let me I can't help it. I gotta see it. So the Castro versus S Condon. Now S Condon is an older fighter, Castro being younger, so there was advantage there for Castro. Castro looks like a pure boxer. He got some talent. He was piecing them up, but S Condon is all that. Like he's all that, but he's an older fighter, so he couldn't contend with it forever. He couldn't keep the party going forever, and Castro actually had to dig deep. Now that's crazy. This is an older fighter. It should be relatively easy. But you see him switch a gear in the fight where he actually had to dig deep. And he triumphed over him. So shout outs to those two because they put on an excellent performance. And in the future, I would want to see what Castro does going forward. And if it is Escondón fight, I will watch that too with great interest because them guys perform. So shout outs to both of them. Maxeo versus Seha. That was a good ass fight. I'm telling you, that was a good ass fight. Maxeo was getting his ass whipped. I know that in the first couple of rounds, Maxeo, was leading, but uh Seha turned it around, and I mean he was killing him. He was I was like, whoa. Both by looking at both of them, I don't know if I want either one of them to fight Gary Russell Jr. I really don't know. So I was like, whoa. Um, that's another fight. They had to dig deep. Cause Seha, like I said, was losing the first couple of rounds. and he had to dig deep, and he went to the body. He was downstairs all day. He ain't come out the basement. He stayed down there all day, just turn the dude up. I always say that like I'm doing damage. You know, he was turning his ass up though down in that basement, and it was nothing that Mag could say. Mag buckled so many times in that fight. Like, if there was any time to quit, nobody could blame him for taking the knee because he buckled so many times. I thought he was finished. But I'm gonna tell you what Seha went wrong. He took his foot off the gas. That's what he did. He took his foot off the gas, and then next thing you know, Maxell just he let he just let it all hang out. He just had the notion of, I'm gonna leave it all in the field. I'm gonna let this all hang out, and I'm just beat shit out you if it kills me. That's how, if I could translate it into words, that's how I felt Maxell did when he closed it out on him. Seha took his foot off the gas, and he shouldn't. And when Maxell had that burst of energy, I don't think he had energy. I think it was his last hurrah. I think it was like Custer's last stand, and he was just going in there. But Seha, you're gonna learn that lesson. You was hurting him, had hit him to the body and stuff, and Maxell backed up. You buckled him time after time after time, every round, and then you let your foot out the gas, and we was like, "What the hell? Where did this come from?" Maxell came out of nowhere because he know from the things he said lately. He's not disrespectful or anything. I don't want y'all to think I'm saying that, but he has called out Gary Russell Jr. And if you'd have lost this fight, can you imagine what Gary Russell Jr. would have been saying today on social media? Shawty, you need to keep your my name out your mouth, Shawty. I don't think you want it over here. And that's my boy. I love Gary, but Gary, you sound like people I grew up with. But I'm from Virginia too. So he called him out. I said, attention to him. Because who knows him? I've never seen him fight. And you linking up with Pacquiao or saying you're like a protege with Pacquiao doesn't do justice. Not over here, not with me. So, because I'm like, oh, now here he come with the extracurricular, you know. But I won't label him that way just yet because I really don't know. Casamayor, you got a big head, so yes, I feel I know. And the way you blown up from 118 to over 140 in a day, yeah. To me, yeah, you doing some extracurricular activities. You got some extracurricular help. But Maxell, I don't know. I don't dislike him. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But if you do fight Gary Russell, I'm going for Gary Russell all day long and twice on Sunday. So you can get that smoke. And you better, all I can say is you better be ready because all that buckling of the knees, what you think Gary gonna do? What you think Gary gonna do? But I give it to you. You came out of nowhere with that. And I'm telling you, he was scraping the bottom as far as energy because he came out just swinging for the fences, and he caught dude right on the chin, completely out. I think dude was trying to save face by getting up and walking out because you don't want to seem like you got to be carried out. The reputation of it all. So I mean, shout out to dude for getting up. I think he stayed in the hospital overnight. I think they're saying he had a concussion, but you two guys put on a hell of a show. And I promise you, whenever you fight, I will definitely try to, watch your fights in the future because you didn't disappoint. So the four fighters who did not disappoint: Castro, Escondon, Maxell, and Seha. I know that sounds crazy, but when you see them come up on a marquee or wherever that they're gonna have a fight, you guys need to jump in and watch it. Whoever they fight is gonna be good. If their opponent is like easy, they gonna go for the juggler and they gonna knock motherfuckers out. Period. They ain't gonna be no easy fight with them. They young, they hungry. Escondon is not young, but he's a hungry fighter. You know what he remind me of? Escondon. He remind me of an older pit bull. Isaac Cruz. And Isaac Cruz' name has been shuffled around in the top tier area here lately because if Camboso backs out this fight, then Teofimo mandatorily have to fight. And like talking, bumping my gums about Isaac Cruz for a minute. And everybody's like, "What you talking about, T? Like, who is this guy? Who cares?" And I'm telling y'all, he the goods. He's young, he's hungry, he's a lion, and he's relentless. So he's the goods. But he's at 135. And I just felt like because ain't nobody fighting at 135, everybody avoiding Devin. Throw some money his way. Watch how he get on that train real quick. Anybody wants to smoke with Isaac Cruz, watch how quick he answers. It ain't gonna be complicated. He put that thing on easy. This man knows he's a pit bull, and I'm telling you, you better be ready. Y'all think Sean Porter be coming at you. This dude ain't wild like Sean Porter, but he come at you. He relentless. He don't stop, and he got power. So if I don't know, I love to see that fight. I love to see him fight anybody at 135. These guys that just put on a performance on Pacquiao's undercard, I love to see them too. Now the Guerrero and Ortiz fight. Whew, what can I say? Go ahead and seek life elsewhere. Not being funny. I mean, I can't tell nobody what to do. That Guerrero was tough in his day. He was piecing up Ortiz. Ortiz is a fighter who don't know how to use his head in such a way where you can have plausible deniability. Lou Dub in the building. What's up, King? I know you saw that fight this weekend. Man, that was a good card, huh? Excellent card. Excellent card. And I do this every time. I forget to turn my phone off. It was an excellent card. I was thoroughly pleased. Now, Lou Dub, I had already explained. I know I said I wasn't going to get the fight, but I couldn't help myself because I was going somewhere to the fight over a friend's house, but everybody was sick over there. So, I opted to stay home. That shit is out there big time. That other strand. And by the way, this is for boxers too. You say, yeah, it was fun card. Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. Um, by the way, for all boxers or anybody who want to know, uh, the Pfizer vaccine is now FDA approved. That happened today, and shit gonna change because no longer would a boxer come and say, "I got COVID." Know why you ain't gonna say it? To make it mandatory. They can say all fighters, if you're going to box on any channel or any network or any ring in any association with our business, you have to have the shots. It's not optional. Now, businesses can do that. Watch how much many more people start getting the shot. Because I sit here and wonder, like, why is that a protest? You know, if you don't like that shot, then how did you feel about the polio shot? What's the difference? What's the difference? It's not a hoax. I got my vaccines. I wasn't playing around because I'm not trying to have no oops situation. And the TO situation and Tyson Fury situation, where they disappointed us this summer, could never be under a FDA approved drug. Can't be. So that's good news for boxing, I believe, because y'all got to find another excuse. You can't say, "Oh, I had COVID." Can't say that. You can't say that. And I'm anxious to see who jumping on the mandatory vaccination train. What business? What promoter? What network? Who? For a few million or hundreds of thousands of dollars, I bet you will get that vaccine. If it's standing in your way to getting it, I bet to getting what you want, I bet you go get that vaccine. But that was the news that came out today, and hopefully everybody's aware of that. But back to this card, Guerrero versus Ortiz. Ludell, what you think? That was boring. I actually fell asleep in the last part. I didn't hear them announce Guerrero as the winner, but I thought he won because, like I said, Victor, he's only 34, and he might as well be 44. Victor Ortiz, because he always use his head. I cannot stand that dude. He always use his head, but not in a plausible deniability the way he can do that, like in a way that he can deny that, oh, I'm using my head. It's obvious. And so I think the injuries that that's what I think. But between the two, Guerrero was a better boxer than me. So I was like, okay. But like I said, I was hyped. The whole car was good, from the front to the end. And now the piece de la resistance. Now in the beginning of this broadcast, I played the song by Elton John, Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Drew Titan in the building. Salute. Oh, Drew, let me tell you, Drew, I gotta pause now. I saw your broadcast with you and the guys, Stormy B Man and Nick. Uh, what is it? Trick Nolte, something. But that guy you had on Corey Spinks. Wow, what a stupendous interview! That was the best interview I've seen in a while. Like, wow. I mean, Drew, you actually was holding school yesterday because I wonder how many semester credit hours I got credit for because man, you guys were incredible. Yeah, he a real one. And Drew, the part that I really honed in on, it was like, oh my God, is when he brought up Crohn's disease. Because we know that that's an autoimmune disorder. I was quivering about the part where he said I contracted it. No, autoimmune disorders you are born with. You can't get rid of them. Only thing you can do is control them. And I look at it like most of us have it, but some people have different levels of it. So for him to even fight with Crohn's disease, that's the worst. That's one of the worst of the autoimmune disorders because I have it too. That was my problem. But I don't even try to complain like the people who got Crohn's or lupus. That should be taking them out. I got hypothyroidism and eczema, which eczema, for those of you who might not know, is means you have an overactive immune system. And that's good for stuff like I probably would be one of the people that don't catch COVID, but at the same time, uh when you don't have something, your body always trying to fight some, it wind up attacking you. So it be kicking my ass, you know. But anywho, he said that, and he brought it back to food. Drew, something you always talk about, health and fitness. I harp on that. Everything is about what you eat. The only cure to and I ain't gonna say cure to autoimmune disorders is the only way you can control it, I should say, is if you eat nutrient based foods, which means a plant diet, like fruits and plants. That's it. That's it. And a lot of fighters don't understand. That's why I say Father Time showed up in that fight Saturday twice. Cause Escondón, Father Time showed up on him, but look how he fight. He's like a young, he's an older Isaac Cruz. Imagine him at 20. I've never even heard of this guy, Escondón. Father Time showed up on Pacquiao too. And here's the thing: your body can fight, fight, fight. It is very resilient. All humans. But after 20 years of fighting the same fight, of you starving yourself of nutrients, your body gonna kick your ass. And that usually take place in your 40s. I be talking about, you know, um, if I never had autoimmune disorders, I wouldn't know none of this shit because it wouldn't be of concern. So, Drew, not just that, but everything that man said. And I remember watching Corey Spinks when I was young, but I wasn't into boxing then like I am now. And I'm like, oh man. So I felt like as y'all was talking, I was like, I gotta go back and watch that fight. I gotta go back and watch that. Oh, I gotta go look that, y'all took me to school. I love it, love it, love it. See how I'm pounding the desk. Love it, love it, love it. Oh my God. I was like, what a great interview. So shout outs to you, Drew, and all the guys. Y'all did a wonderful job. And shout outs to Corey Spinks. Hey, awesome guy. Awesome. But back to this Pacquiao and Ugas fight. So Father Time showed up on Pacquiao. He showed up on his ass. Now, at the final press conference or the post press conference, Pacquiao said, "I'm not making excuses, but my knees was tight." That's making excuses, Pacquiao. Even though he tried to emphasize he not making excuses. Just say Ugas was the better man tonight. That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say. And we all understand because Ugas, he worried me in the beginning because he was fighting low. Didn't y'all think that? He was lowering himself. And he looks way bigger than Pacquiao. But I'm not calling foul play with that because in at 147 and Pacquiao weighed in at 146. You work them on. Because as you get older, speed diminishes. It's one of the first things that'll go. Agility, reflexes. And he needed all three of them motherfuckers last night. He needed speed, agility, and reflexes. That's what he needed. He really needed that to fight this younger guy. And Ugas not no spring chicken, but Ugas is younger than him. He's 35. And happens for a reason when Earl Spence had his eye injury. And I made it clear then, no shade or anything. But this is what I looked at when I was seeing the fight. Drew Titan said, "Happy for Ugas, well deserved." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well deserved. I look at Ugas. I think about his childhood because you know how in Cuba they kind of pick what you gonna be, and you eat, sleep, drink, piss, shit. That's all you do all day is boxing. This man grew up like that. Drew Titan said Manny 2 years out was a factor with his age in my mind. Yep, yeah. I think he gonna show improve. This decade, I'm talking 40-year-olds. Everybody who's in their 40s, breaks the fuck down. I mean, man, am I gonna die? I know I can't be the only one. A regular knee, I wake up with a swollen knee. What happened? That's 40s. So packing it in. Now, if you're a person who took care of your body all your life, like a Floyd, and even Floyd know to pack it in, then you might be saying something. But Manny, I think he had that extracurricular help. So no, he did not take care of his body. And now all that shit he did might have helped your career. What the fuck is gonna do for you as an old man? This is the question. I'll be wanting other fights is because think about he's in the politics, right? That shit costs money. You see how much money it takes to be a president of the US? Can you imagine how much money? It won't be the same. It'll be considerably low to be the president of the Philippines, but you ain't fucking with no punk. This dude already called Pacquiao out. Like he not scared of Pacquiao. He talk about him like a dog. They slinging mud verbally, but it's gonna cost Pacquiao money. So I be wondering, is he using his own money to fund his political campaigns? And if so, that's kind of crazy. But that's if he still goes. But anywho, so getting back to Ugas. So Ugas is a kid. You know, Castro said, you're gonna be a boxer. He's a boxer. He eats, sleeps, and drinking. He lives in a place where everybody around him is boxing. That's all they do. They don't go to no sock hops. They don't go to nothing. They don't go to no games, no football games. They just eat, sleep, and drink boxing. He grows up, he's still boxing. He go fight for his country. Maybe he went to I don't know how many times he went to the Olympics, but I'm sure several times, or at least twice. So he goes to the Olympics, medal. So we don't know if he caught a regular American Airlines or Delta flight and flew over here like a visitor, or did he swim across this motherfucker? So we don't know if he did that because he was a star over there. So then he gets here, he works, he works, he works. And a lot of people out there say they never heard of Ugas. But Ugas been around. And the reason why you ain't heard of him because a lot of fighters be stalling him out, when they fought. But he's a good gentleman. He's a well behaved man. You don't hear nothing about him in the streets or anything. So this was his night. I said all of that to say, don't you think God should bless him? Isn't this a blessing from God? to a man who has dedicated pressure, coming over here defecting to make a better life, leaving his family. Earl Spence had to get out the way so that God could bless Ugas. You can't be mad at that. You cannot be mad at that. And I was thinking, is he gonna get in there? This if a judge was found out 20 years into his career, every case he ever once, everything is suspect. That's how I feel about Manny. So I can't really assess a cheater. I will say that he's a great fighter, but not to him. He wanted to go with the money. So Drew Titan said Manny is a Filipino MC Hammer. Has a big entourage. He not. Yeah, yeah. He have a lot of people following him, like that. Boxing fast, like all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know why he does that, but he have a lot of people running with him. I would say this: if I had to run all them many miles, I would want a group too, because my ass would damn sure take a break several times. If I had to run a mile, I'd probably take like 3 breaks. I know how y'all like, what the fuck? Just a mile? Hell yeah, I'm gonna sit these dogs down. I'm gonna sit them down, take a breather. But no, I'm just joking. So like, I know when you condition like that, you can run forever. You can run all day if you train your body to do it. Now Pacquiao, like I said, he Father Time has caught up with him. It's no shade, Pacquiao. Go ahead and retire gracefully with all your faculties. Because you got a long road ahead of you. Your body detoxing all that bullshit you put in it. You got a long road ahead of you. But here's the thing that we did notice from that fight. Earl Spence would have killed Pacquiao. He definitely would have killed Pacquiao. Like, I don't think Pacquiao could have survived it. I think Pacquiao would have tried to come hard and Earl would have made him severely pay. Because when Ugas was piecing his ass up, 1-2, 1-2. When he was piecing his ass up, Pacquiao gets mad, don't it? And he comes in. Now here's the thing: you don't ever train a fighter to fight like Pacquiao. That is like that's Pacquiao putting his stank on it. Don't nobody train nobody to fight like that. He's all offense, and what Pacquiao is used to is him barraging you with punches, hit you hard, real good, and make you want to back up. As you're backing up, you're really not on your best footing, and that's how he gets you. That's how I think he gets you. He might got pop in his hand, but like other people have said, it's shockingly type power. Like you be amazed, like what that hurt me, that hit me. But he's used to like coming with the barrage, get you backpedaling, like you already off beat and just backpedaling, and then he go in for the kill, but he couldn't do Ugas. Ugas stayed in the pocket. Ugas stayed in the pocket. He stood his ground. Every time Pacquiao tried to use angles, Ugas could keep up with him. So, like I said, Pacquiao has lost his speed, agility, and reflexes, but Ugas hasn't lost his yet. Now, if they fight again, I don't know. I don't know what can happen. Ugas did put that out there, like, yeah, we can run it back. But I was hoping Ugas would never say that. Just move on with your life. Pacquiao should go ahead and retire because did you see the bruising on his head from all those straight? I don't know if you call it straight or looping lefts or rights or whatever. Like it's straight right now. I think it was straight right, but he would loop it. And he was catching them all day with it. Pacquiao had no answer for this dude's style and aggression. Had no answer. And I can't say Ugas don't hit hard enough. He must hit some kind of hard because it stopped Pacquiao from doing some of the stuff that he wanted to do. But Pacquiao, I'm not gonna say he shouldn't have took the fight or anything. Things happen. A couple of the fighters on the card got injured, and everybody stepped up. Everybody performed well, even Guerrero and Ortiz. I guess you could say that, but their performance sucked for me. But they tried. They just Guerrero, you might as well go on and sit it down. Ortiz, I don't think you properly trained. Like he even looked weird, like his body shape and everything. So I don't know what he doing, but he looked like he was 44. Ortiz, Victor. Um, Everybody did a great job. They did not disappoint. Uh, I guess the money was worth it, as best as $75 can be. Um, I had a good time. I was excited. I was thinking I was gonna see a fight or two and then be like, damn. But hold on. Did y'all hear one of the commentators make a sly remark? I think he was aiming at that blue blood, but I wrote it down. Brian Kenny, y'all know who he is. He's a bitch anyway. He's a scoundrel. He's a weasel, is what he is. But Brian Kenny said something about Uga's biceps being damaged and how it was mentioned in these YouTube streets. And then this the condescending part, because he's very condescending and low key disrespectful. That's why Floyd waxed that ass. I ain't even gonna say wax, tongue lashed that ass in an interview so many years ago. And I remember when Floyd was getting under his skin, because when Floyd told him, "You don't make more money than me. I bet you I make more money than you," basically like calling him a bitch. Brian Kenny got upset when he had to gather his composure, bring it back down, woo-saw a couple of times. The Floyd was getting in his ass. Now I see why. It's one of my favorite Floyd interviews because Floyd had to dig in this dude's ass, and I never understood why. But Brian Kenny, he low key disrespects people. He low key say something. So he talked about the fact that in the YouTube streets, people were talking about this bicep injury that Ugas may or may not have had. The only person I know who was talking about it was Blue Blood. But I don't think Blue Blood was talking about it like it's a definite. He was talking about it looked like what I observed. And it did look weird, right? So it might be something else. It might be, from what I'm hearing, it might be a cyst or something. I don't know. I heard that on KC that it might have been a cyst. But then he made an underhanded comment saying, um, like he said, I thought everything in the that you hear in social media, meaning y'all's platforms, is true. Brian Kenny was talking about you. He don't like y'all, dog. He don't like y'all, but I know y'all don't give a fuck because who is Brian Kenny? Brian Kenny, every time he talk, watch for the low key insults. No matter who he talking to and talking about, always watch for the low key insults and the condescending remarks because he's full of them. Full of them. And Floyd made his ass look stupid. We should replay that video and get a lot of people looking at that video on YouTube or recommending they go because Floyd was right. This is how you treat a person like that. A person, we can talk about anything we want on these platforms and from what we observe or what we see. No, I don't think Blue Blood, I didn't watch it, but I don't think Blue Blood said, "Oh, I know for a fact." I don't think he said that. But his arm do look funny. Now getting to Yugas and that post interview or post fight press conference, Ugas do look like something is wrong with his arm. You know why I say that? Because he couldn't sit still. And he kept doing this shit. I know what he doing. He masquerading some pain. Shout out to him if he is injured and he didn't want to say nothing. He didn't say nothing if he won. He wouldn't have said nothing if he lost. That's how I look at it now. But something is wrong because he did one of these numbers. He grabbed his arm like this. When you do that, it's because you got some kind of pain. And it's just a natural reflex for you to squeeze underneath or somewhere near where you have pain at. So he might have had some kind of damage. I don't know. But it didn't stop him from doing what he had to do. He went in there, he handled himself like a champ, and he got the job done. But do I think something was wrong with him? Yes. Do I think he gonna complain about it? No. But what I will tell Ugas is to be careful on just get off social media now for at least 6 months because 6 months because you don't want to happen to you what happened to what he said happened to him. Like I don't know how he let the fans get him depressed for kicking Pacquiao's ass. I mean, I don't even know how that happened, but apparently it can happen. You know, maybe they like the beehive jump on your ass and you can't get a word in edgewise and you just start feeling guilty. Ugas, you did a great job. You trained. You might not have trained really good for Pacquiao, but you trained and you did your job. So don't let none of these Pactars make you feel a certain kind of way. Don't let none of these boxers make you feel a certain kind of way. You know who you're gonna have to be facing. You are one of the guys with the belts. So Earl Spence or Terrence Crawford is in your future. But in the meantime and in between time, don't wait around, do a couple of defenses or whatever. Um, don't sit around and wait for Earl. And the reason I say that, because I really, really prefer Earl to wait at least a year. Because he could have a Kell Brooks situation. I don't think Kell Brook waited long enough. Okay. Eye pain ain't nothing to play with. It could drop you to your knees. And the eyeball itself is sitting under it's pressure all around your eyeball, even in the good eyeball, not alone an injured eyeball. It's a lot of pressure. And so I feel like Earl should give himself time to properly heal. Time to properly heal. I could say, how when I think you 31, you're in your 30s now. So your healing process is going to be a lot slower than what you used to. And now is the time when everything drags out a little bit. So I really believe that Earl should just sit tight for about a year, about 1 year before he try to come in, because everybody he fight is going to be gunning for his eyes. Everybody. And he don't need that. He don't need that at all. And so um I just I hope and pray that he heals well. Now, everybody's up in arms about what Terrence Crawford said. I'm not gonna read the text, but it was something to the effect of, "I know you mad, me too," because Ugas fought something. He said, "I'm not hating," but something about for the missed opportunity. Because I'm sure Earl was looking at the fight. It's like, damn, damn, damn. In my Florida Evans voice, damn, James, damn. Who wouldn't? Because we all know if Ugas did that to Pac, what you think Earl was gonna do? So Ugas became a millionaire overnight. He stands to make about $15 million for this fight. Shout outs to him. I'm so happy for him. And he looks like a big baby, like just in a candy store. He is just oozing happiness. Like he is so grateful and appreciative. So shout out to him for that. But Earl, things happen for a reason. So before you get in there, even though between you and Bud, I will always pick Terrence. I always throw that out there. I'm a Terrence guy. That's my guy. I love him to death. That's my dude. But I'm looking in reality. Um, I don't think Ugas can beat Earl. I give Earl 100% beating Ugas. I give Terrence, and that's my guy, Terrence guy. So uh, I give Terrence like 75% chance of beating Ugas. Because Terrence is a pure boxer, so is Ugas, who can walk. Um, the reason why is going to gun for your eye. They're going to come gunning for your eye. And I can say I don't think it's right, but that's a kink in your armor. And every fighter, you can fight a B level or C level fighter. Everybody know, just go for the eye. That's what they're going to do. Now that's a kink because now you got to figure out a defense against that. You got to figure out, okay, how am I fighting that? That changes your whole style. You know, that's an alteration right there. So that's why I'm asking for Earl to heal, take the time off, don't rush to get back. When it comes to the belts, I understand the fighters frustrating. They can say, well, this person ain't fighting for a year or more. You can't hold the belts hostage. Here's what I say to that: whatever the WBA, or I mean, he got the WBC and the IBF, I believe. Whatever you normally been doing for everybody else, keep the same energy. Treat Earl fair. That's all we can ask. Treat him fair. Treat him like you do your favorite fighters. Treat him fair. I think he should keep his belts. I think he should sit for a year. Um, Beyond that, y'all can revisit and then refigure out what y'all gonna do. But I think Earl should be able to keep his belts for the entire time he's in convalescent. That's fair. That's fair because ain't no he top dog at 147. That's fair. But everybody else, you got Ugas and you got Terrence that y'all can fight. Now I know that Terrence and Sean Porter went to a purse bid. I don't know anything else about it. Like what's going on? What's the consensus? What have they arrived at? Who's gonna actually be putting on the fight? But it went to a purse bid. And then I heard that Teofimo and Cambosa's fight has moved to October. I want to say like the first week in October, October 5th or something. Now that might give Cambosos a chance to get home to see the birth of his child, which is good. Which is good. So congratulations, Camboso, for being a father for the third time. Um, but their fight is moved to October. So think about this: you got October 9th, which is gonna be a top ranked fight, I guess, if he has anything to do with Tyson Fury. That fight is going down from what I hear. But we all have to believe it when we see it. But I'm actually gonna be in Vegas that weekend. So no, where I'm gonna be trying to get to. Um, you got that one on the 9th. September 10th is also a Fox, I mean a top ranked fight. October 23rd is a top ranked fight. December 11th is a top ranked fight. I mean, it's a lot of top ranked fights. So anybody with top rank that's been pressed to get a fight, this is your time because they got like 4 cards this whole fall, and them the ones I know about. I'm sure they got more. Um, but Ugas, getting back to him, I think you should take. I ain't gonna say no easy fight because if you're a champion, you're a champion. Then it's time to carry yourself like one. But relish in your victory, enjoy it. Take a. Hopefully, we'll see you again in maybe the end of this year or maybe the beginning of next year. Probably for you, preferably January or February. But we'll see you again. Get a fight. You got Virgil Ortiz. You got Jerron Boots. Come on, give these guys a chance. And then Pacquiao, I would suggest again, you're your own man, you're your own boss. Far be it for me to tell a grown man what to do. So excuse how I express myself. But take your ass home. Sit down. Have several seats. Become the politician you want to be. I can see. In fact, if you go back to when he fought Keith Thurman, he said it out his own mouth. I can't do that no more. That shit was hard. You said it about Keith Thurman. It can only get worse for you going forward. So nobody's interested in seeing you do a B level or C level fighter. I know you always compare yourself to Floyd Mayweather. In this situation, you have to accept the fact that um, Floyd is a better boxer than you. Floyd won over you. Floyd made won in every way in the boxing world over you. But you know what? Floyd is not a senator, and never will he be. Floyd is don't have a chance to be the president of a whole country. So that way you're winning over him. Accept your losses and move on. Go ahead and retire. You are legendary. You will go down in the Hall of Fame. Nobody can take that away from you. But if you come back and Spence decided to come back early just to fight you, Ugas was a cakewalk compared to what Spence do to you. So I suggest You go take it to the house. I even believe that Terrence Crawford could do worse than what Ugas did to you. So just take it to the house, Pacquiao. And I'm not even a big Pacquiao fan, but enough is enough. Go ahead, go home. Now, so the thing that Bud said on his which column, I'm not mad at it. And I know a lot of other people be mad at what Bud said. They don't like Bud anyway. A lot of people just don't like Bud. They're gonna be mad at everything he say and do because he's Bud. But if you think about it, what is everybody really mad at Bud for? They're mad because he made the choice to sign with Top Rank, knowing how Bob Arum is, knowing that it was going to exclude him from having matchups with PBC fighters, and that's where all the welterweights of note are at. And so this is why we mad at him because of a business decision. I can, I won't be mad at him for that no more than I would be mad at anybody for a business decision. I mean, I could say I don't like Bob Arum, and I could say I don't understand why anybody would sign with him. I don't hate Bob Arum. I just don't like him for how he treats his fighters, especially fighters of color. So, like when I was talking about Nico Walsh signing with Top Rank, because why? Because his grandfather worked for Top Rank back in the day. But Nico, you're old enough to have heard what Bob said about black people. Now I know you don't have that complexion that we have to carry around, but you got black in you. That should be enough. He said black people don't sell, and Bob seems to corral these great fighters who are people of color and sit them on the shelf so that he can promote and big up the fighters he want to who are not black. That right there, Terrence, you should never have been in business with him. You should have saw that coming. And if you do re-up with him, of course, it's just gonna throw salt in the wound. We would never understand that. But I'm not gonna be mad at Terrence. I'm not gonna say, what he's capable of. That's an awesome fighter, and he's capable of a lot. But everybody want to sell him short. Now, then people talk like he can't say nothing to Earl Spence. I'm not gonna limit what he can say and what he can't say. None of us can anyway. But why I'm gonna be mad? I don't be mad when Earl say whatever he gonna say. What they be saying in the background, talking to each other, they're men. Men talk shit. But I thought that his his text was low key condescending. I ain't gonna lie for you, bud. It was low key condescending. Um, but it was respectful on his face. On his face, the words were respectful, but it was low key condescending because you probably know how Earl feel, and it's probably really one of the toughest things he got to go through outside of the ring is to deal with his situation that he's in right now and how it precluded him from having a dream fight. Having this a fight against Pacquiao would have been a dream fight. That's why you should have. That's why you said what you said. It's low key condescending. And we're gonna keep it real. It's low key condescending, but I don't get mad at that. Like that ain't nothing to get mad at Bud. If when Bud gets from under Bob Arum, I wonder how everybody gonna feel about him then. Like, is he still gonna be the bad guy? Like I said, I'm gonna judge him by how he fight, and I don't hear too much about him in the streets. I'm not saying Bud is perfect, but I judge him about what he do in the ring. I can't get into people's personal lives too much unless it's starting to bleed into their boxing life. But some of y'all gotta put some respect on Bud. Put some respect on Bud. Cause he's not a bad fighter. He of all people could say that what he said. Um, and he's not talking out of his lane. You know what I'm saying? We just got on some fighters like CC when he was talking about Deontay. We got on him about that because you would never face Deontay. You don't have no room to talk about Deontay. You don't even have his record. You don't even have his millions. And you sit up there complaining or talking about him in a negative way. What's the purpose? But Bud talks about people that's in his lane. So if you can't talk about people that's in your lane, who can you talk about? That's all I'm saying. And they get on Bud just as much. When Earl Spence said, "Don't blame me, blame Bob," that was low key condescending. The same thing. So people, let's not get upset about these little texts. I mean, we can call it what it is, but if anybody can say anything, would be them two. And let's not get upset because we don't like Bud. We don't like Bud. Well, I'm gonna say y'all don't like Bud because I like Bud, but y'all don't like Bud because of his business moves and how it keeps him away from fights that we want to see. I get it, but we can't say he a wash. The same thing go for Keith Thurman. He makes a fighter wait, i.e., Errol Spence, which I understands Earl position from his perspective. He's upset because he wanted that, and Keith was. It looked like what it is, Keith. Whatever explanation you give, it do look like it was avoidance or ducking, low key ducking, but avoidance. And EJ was mad about that. I get it, but then what is EJ and Crawford and what's all? Too early to say Ugas. What are all of them doing when it comes to Jerron Ennis or Virgil Ortiz or Jamel? What's some God? I can't get that dude's name. But what are all of them doing by overlooking them guys? They can't squeeze them in their little path or their plans. That's what everybody want to keep to do. Stop going forward on your trajectory and take a detour and squeeze Earl in, and then finish that business and then go back to your trajectory. That's not what Keith wanted. Get mad at Keith. If I get mad at Keith for doing that, then I need to get mad at all of them for doing that because every fighter does that. The only two fighters that's out there that don't do that is Devin Haney and Deontay Wilder. Everybody else does that. So I'm not gonna hold Keith feet to the fire over something that everybody does and then talk about him like he ain't nothing. He lost one fight, bro. One fight. And if you're gonna lose a fight, who better to lose to than a Manny Pacquiao? That's all he did. He lost one fight. And now Keith is supposed to be desperate or begging or whatever. He might be begging and there it works, Um, he made some ill-advised moves in these streets. He didn't explain himself to his fans thoroughly, and he always seemed like he's trying to be clever and with his words, like a Andre Ward. So keep some of this stuff you bring on yourself, but at the same time, he lost one fight, y'all. He lost one fight, so I'm not mad at Keith, and I hope he do get a fight. I hope he's serious about wanting to get his number one position back. But Earl, no matter what any of these top tier fighters, whether it be Keith, I know you don't give a damn about Keith, but whether it be Crawford or any of them, don't let them shortchange you. Get your recovery in the proper way and then some. Throw more recovery time because you're older. It might not seem like it, but you're not in your 20s no more. So you gotta have some consideration for that. Fully healed. I expect to see Earl back in about a year and really not a minute soon because I want his eye to be completely healed. And that kind of injury, is it really healed? They always talk about what's his name, Sugar Ray Leonard, because he had a similar eye injury. But Sugar Ray Leonard didn't come back to fight Hagler until he had been down. He had a lot of downtime. Sugar Ray Leonard, I think it was like 2 years since his last fight before he fought Hagler. It wasn't like he found that out and then 6 months later or even 8 months later, he got in the ring with Hagler. No, he had a lot of time off in between. And he was able to do that fight. Something that he always wanted, something that Hagler wanted. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what it is, but He was able to do that fight, something that both Hagler and him wanted to do, and he came out on the other side okay. We see him today, he ain't blind. His eyes still good, you know what I'm saying? But he was running the risk. And I'm sure Hagler was gunning for that eye. But he didn't come back in months. It seemed like it was 2 years. I'm not saying Earl should sit out for 2 years. I'm saying we should be prepared for anything, but at least a year. And nobody should fuck with his belts while he's in recovery and convalescent. Nobody. That wouldn't be right. I think we will all fucking snap on here if the IBF or the WBC try something funny and take this man belt. I don't want to hear nothing about champion and recess. This nigga got the belt. Let this man recover because I've seen where y'all have done it for other people. So let him have his convalescence in peace. You know that shit I can't. No, that I is no way in hell I could take that. Um, but Earl, I really want you to heal properly because that's what everybody gonna gun for you. No matter who I say you could be your next opponent, who you can say could be your next opponent, everybody who get in the ring with you is gonna gun for your eyes. Just know that. That's why I say beat them at outsmart them fully here. And when they come for it, seek life elsewhere. Go, there's other people to fight. Jerron, Bruce Ennis, I'm gonna keep saying that. You can fight Lippians. You can fight Keith Thurman, who's begging for a fight. There's plenty of other people to fight in the meantime, in between time, to get this man the proper convalescent need before he come back. And he probably come back and wax all y'all ass. So be careful what you wish for. But moving on. So this piece of news made me a little upset, and I ain't gonna be long. I ain't got much longer. This is the last thing I'm gonna talk about. Joe Joyce, the Juggernaut, has signed a multi-fight contract extension with Queensberry. I guess promotion is headed by Frank Warren. Um, he was a silver medalist. I don't know what country he's from. I don't really follow Joyce, but he's hoping he can get a fight with Anthony Joshua, the winner of Joshua and Usyk. How? When I saw this news, I said, how? How is he in a position to fight Joshua or Usyk, the winner of whatever one, but Deontay Wilder is or wasn't? How in the fuck? And I'm like, that's not cool. But then I say, you know what? Things happen for a reason. Because if the Juggernaut think he all that and he wind up fighting Joshua and he wins those belts, or if Usyk win and he fights him and he wins those belts, when they have to face Deontay, how they gonna do? Because Joshua know that Deontay is the real deal. That's why he been avoiding him. Now I watch him say, I'll fight him next year. We going back all the way to like 2018, 2019. I'll fight him next year. Oh, I need 2 years to get ready for a fight. How the fuck you need 2 years to get ready for a fight? If you a boxer, you ready for the fight. They do give you consideration in that area, like let me get ready for this fighter. Cause that's why you get a training camp. But how the fuck you gonna say you need 2 years? What the fuck you can learn in 2 years that can help you for a fight? I can see if you was Jake Paul or some shit. Well, and not no shade to him. He's not a real boxer yet in my eyes. But he's very entertaining. Or Logan or whoever. People who are not real boxers or people coming from MMA that say, I want to get into the boxing world. I need about 2 years of training. I get that. I get that. But you a whole boxer out this bitch, and you was in the Olympics. I think you got a gold, or was it a silver? I know in 2012 you might have got a gold. Okay, what is the problem? You obviously know how to box if you was an Olympian. Number two, you've been a heavyweight champion, and you're avoiding them because you know you can't beat them. And 2 years of training has came and went, and you still don't want to fight Deontay. But Deontay got some unfinished business with Tyson Fury, and I'm living for it. Living for it. I don't give a fuck what happened to Fury in that fight. I don't care. Because he getting everything he deserved when Deontay laid him hands. But how soon after that fight are you gonna give him a fight, Joshua? I mean, 2 years have came and gone. You done ran through every excuse in the book not to fight this man. And now Joe Joyce feels like he's in a position to take the winner of your fight. Now the only way he can feel that way is if your team and you entertain that bullshit. Cause he said it. That would be highly speaking out of turn if he didn't think that he could say that. So apparently something y'all saying or doing makes this man think he can say that. And I don't understand how this dude who barely got 20 fights can get in position to fight you. And you haven't once entertained the thought of fighting Deontay Wilder. At that point, that would be like the straw that broke the camel's back for me because at that point you're a straight up whole bitch out here. And you need to retire. Straight up. Because two old people you avoid. Everybody you scared of, you avoid, but we supposed to call you the champ. We supposed to look at you and hold you to a high esteem. But you ducking motherfuckers for years. And then this young motherfucker gonna come behind, and I don't think he young, but young to us, as far as we don't, he's relatively new in the boxing that we know of. He come behind and really believes he can get the winner of your fight. What has he done more than other heavyweights out there to deserve the fight? You just cycle through everybody, but you won't fight King Kong and you won't fight Deontay. Why? And that's why ain't nobody think about you, Joshua. Blue Dove said Joyce is number 2 behind Usyk in the WBO ranking. Yeah, and I think he went up in somebody else ranking too. Like they trying to make sure he be the shit. But that's more so the greed and everything of his backers like Frank Warren and shit. They want to have the bad man, but I think Deontay would hurt him. I think Deontay would hurt him. I can't see no heavyweight that can be Deontay, but I don't think it's fair that Joshua even entertain anybody else. And I mean, 2 years. Remember, he said that? He said 2 years, which we thought was ridiculous when he said it. But 2 years have came and gone. And Deontay is no more closer to even getting a fight or being on the same undercard to Joshua. And so I just think that's a travesty of justice. Like, that's just crazy. You cannot be the best by avoiding fighters. You know, if anybody deserves the next person, it'd be Luis Ortiz, right? Wouldn't he deserve it? He fought Deontay. Deontay had a belt when he fought him. He should have been ranked up there or whatever. But from what I'm hearing, Frank Warren has went on a campaign to make sure that Joyce is standing in good positions. Like he's actually greasing some palms. That's just how I say that. I don't know how negotiations go behind closed doors, but that's just how I say that. Putting some grease on his palms when he's shaking hands and make sure Joe Joyce is elevated or in a good position so that he can get these fights that he wants. So I like I said, it's getting to be crazy. First things first, Tyson Fury gonna handle that business, and then after that, we're gonna see where it go. But we all know who the number one king at heavyweight, and that's your boy Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. That's the king right there of all that he surveyed. So anyway, nice talking to y'all. Welcome back this weekend. I had a good time. I know, like I said, I said I wasn't gonna get the car, but I did, and I don't have no regrets for it. It was actually a good car. I haven't seen a good car in a while because even when Pac and Floyd fought, that car sucked. The only good fight on there was Pac and Floyd, and I went to that fight. But a lot of times, I stopped a long time ago buying Pacquiao fights because his card was sucky. But shout outs to whoever put that card together. Everybody did their job. Everybody was excellent. Everybody left it in the ring. And prayer sent to Seha because I knew he had a concussion or something. So I hope he gets well. And here's to us looking forward to many fights from him. Maxeo, I think Gary Russell, you need to take him a little serious. Dude look like he got some kind of pop or whatever. But do your homework, Gary. And Castro, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future. As Condon, you did a good job. Having been a long term veteran, you remind me of Pitbull Isaac Cruz, the 135 pounder. Like that's who you remind me of. I could see him becoming you in the years to come. And Pack and Ugas, y'all put on a good performance. Pack, you tried. Father Time has caught up with you. Your speed has diminished, your reflexes has diminished, and your agility has diminished. That's why you said your legs was tight. But next time, Pack, if you do fight, what I suggest you don't, go be the president. Just say when you lose a fight, he was a better man tonight. Say that and let it be done. Because you looking like a person who always having excuses. What they say, you make more excuses than a nigga going to jail. I don't know. I saw that on TV one day. But that's how you sound. And it's you don't have to be that way. You're a legend. So just say he was a better man tonight. That don't mean like he's a better man tomorrow or next week, but tonight he was a better man. And that's what happened. You got fought by the better man that night. Ugas, don't let nobody get you down. Go, stay off social media. Don't become a Sean Porter. Not Sean Porter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sean. But Timothy Bradley. You want a good fight. You deserved it. We all over here happy for you. And we looking forward to what decisions you make. I don't know where you going with it. Don't wait around for Crawford or Earl. Go pick up you a fight. I ain't saying it got to be easy. You got Virgil, you got Jerron. Pick one of them two. Have a fight in, let's say, January, February. Do you, Ugas? And shout out to you becoming a millionaire overnight. That got to be awesome. So thank you guys for joining my broadcast. Thank you, Lou Dub, for coming in. Thank you, Drew. And thank you for whoever popped in and popped out. But I appreciate it. And I gotta say I had a good weekend. In my Ice Cube voice, I gotta say, today was a good day. Anyway, bye y'all. And when you know better, you do better. That's my motto. When you know better, you do better. Drew, keep bringing interviews like that. That was an excellent interview. It's like I swear I felt like I was going to school. It's a lot of I think I know a lot about boxing, but then I look at one of you guys' show and I be like, damn, I gotta do some homework. So you gave me some homework for the week, and I damn sure will be doing it. But thank you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye bye.